Welcome back to another episode of Cobra Kai Companion, and I am Peter. And on the other side of the mic, you've seen him as a TV, maybe even on TV. Watch Party, how you doing, sir?
I am good. I'm good. Happy to be here.
Yeah. It's going to be a fun episode. I have seriously not done one of these in quite a while. One Sunday afternoon, recently, John took to Twitter and said, "Hey, I got a little bit of time. How about a Q&A?" And as most people do, they ask some questions. John answered the ones that he was able to answer and then some. So, any house cleaning we need to get through before we jump into that? I mean, because this is going to act as a news and update kind of episode.
Well, I mean, I guess that everything is coming from what was said. I don't know if it was like one person did something or something, because that same day is, Hayden had jumped in my live stream. He was just in the chat, and like I had asked him because we remember we just learned there's a new writer, right?
Right.
Um,
Chris Rafferty.
Right. So there's a new writer. He had just posted last week. So it's really less than a week ago he had posted, and I had said to Hayden when he was in the chat, I was like, was that like his first day? Like did he post there his first day? And Hayden replied, he's been working with the team for like about 2 weeks now. So at that point, it had been about 2 weeks when he posted that they've been in the writers' room. So, and I knew that, and then so like, and I think there was a con in Atlanta, right? And I think Billy and
Yes.
Ralph were there. So,
Hmm.
um, and they talked about probably filming in May, which I think is what we were suspecting too. So that was what else had happened.
And by the time you guys are listening to this, there should be early reviews of School Spirits, which is again Peyton List's new show coming exclusively to Paramount Plus. Um, the language that was used. So for those that didn't maybe um, I don't know, I wasn't really teasing or cluing up, I was just kind of saying, hey, I might be covering School Spirits. I got some screeners, so they did it differently than Netflix. Netflix drops all of the episodes at once. And we had mentioned on the previous episode that with School Spirits, they're going to release the first three episodes and then one episode every Thursday thereafter. And they have 9 episodes for season one, if I'm not mistaken. So I was sent the first three. I only watched the first episode. They didn't give like specific details except for, not to write any spoilers or things of that nature. But also, if you were going to do episodic reviews, you it would have to be, I think reviews and recaps would have to be the day those episodes come out. But there's a specific time that you can release those.
Mm-hmm.
So I won't have something ready to go when the embargo lifts, which is actually this evening at the time of this recording. But expect at some point for me to kind of write a non-spoiler review based off of the first episode, the pilot. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to kind of finish up the other two episodes and have a better idea of how much I might be into the show. But based off of the first episode, I liked it. And it was definitely enough for me to be like, I definitely want to see what happens next because it was a cliffhanger. So we'll see if that continues, but do expect some School Spirits coverage on this feed. So we will jump to it unless you have anything else. Watch party.
I think that's it.
Okay. All right. So kind of how we've done this before for those that are newer listeners. Watch Party is going to read the question from the follower, and I will read John's answers and we'll react. So starting with the first one here from XO Life.
Yes, at Exolith35. Ah, has the writing for the final season of Cobra Kai started?
We started the Cobra Kai Season 6 Writers Room 2 weeks ago. Love spending time with this brilliant and hilarious group. It's like we never left. So many great ideas flowing. You're all in for a treat. So, so many great ideas flowing. So I wonder how much is kind of coming through versus what was already outlined.
I mean, it's always probably a little bit of both, I assume.
Yeah.
Um, for something I was mentioning that Hayden had mentioned in my podcast that there was a previous writer on the staff who had some other engagement or something and couldn't get it back for this, which is why Chris Rafferty is in there. So that's probably part of it. So they got a new writer and a lot of new energy, I guess. I bet like also everyone on the staff is like pitching their final ideas, the stuff they've been holding. So it's kind of one of those everyone's letting it all out.
Yeah, but also I'm not familiar like I know okay well Chris Rafferty I like off the top I can't tell you what specific episodes he's done but I believe he's done Lucifer and The
Yeah,
Flash kind of just
yeah.
some things I've seen on social media. I haven't looked them up myself,
Hmm.
but I do wonder if there's going to be I would imagine there's some pressure, like coming in on the last season. You weren't part of the team in the previous season, so
Hmm.
like they want to get everything right, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, got to tie up all the loose ends and connect the dots to get to the finale of the series. So
Hmm.
as far as we know, as of right now, he's the only new writer serving as a replacement for to be named or
Yeah, too. Yeah, we don't know who from at least season 5 is not back for season 6. But
right,
I
right.
asked Hayden, but he didn't reply. So yeah. And I also think they've previously said they take about a week per episode in beating out the episode, getting all the story beats and stuff. I mean, if that's true, you'd figure maybe they have the first 2 episodes more or less like a basic outline now at this point, just so you're
Yeah,
there. Yeah.
that's what I would assume. Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely.
So
Yep,
moving on.
yep. Hmm.
Okay, a question from Mike P at Cobra Kai Wisdom. When it's all over, if you get to keep one thing from the sets, what would you keep?
John replies, "Believe me, we'll definitely do some rummaging. We already have Johnny's original Strike First, Strike Hard, No Mercy painted wall in our offices in LA. Now you had a response to this.
I did. I had tweeted and just like his like that when he said like we already have the painted wall in our offices, I was kind of like just laughing. And it's like, wow, they really took the set and had the actual set shipped to LA. And he replied to me and said, so here's what I specifically said. I said, did they take the wall and have it shipped to LA? Question mark. And he said, yes. When we built Terry Silver's Cobra Kai, we needed to use the space where the old dojo was. We asked for the art department to keep that wall and ship it to us.
Oh, okay. So that's actually kind
So
of what you were speculating, right?
yes. So basically, yeah, uh, I actually replied to him. I said what I would love to see is like if someone had snapped a picture of them like loading of the wall onto a U-Haul truck. That's it's just what
Yeah,
like a couple PAs just like, all right, bring it up. Just
yeah.
like loading this strike first, strike hard, no mercy wall
Well,
onto
I,
the
I
U-Haul.
wonder. I mean, I actually kind of pictured it like being cut up, into pieces, maybe like 6 or 9 panels, that they kind of because that'd be easier to kind of break apart, put it in a pretty good sized box and ship it, I feel. But who knows? Yeah, maybe we'll see a picture of it one day next to that painting of Doc Brown in their office.
Yeah, yeah. I'm trying to. You were in their offices. Where do you think they put that wall? If it's
Well, they could do a lot of rearranging. And obviously it's been a few years. The, the sofa I sat in, my son and I, we sat on one couch and I feel like the wall behind us was bare, but
mm,
there could have been something or they could have added something since then. But, I'm sure they would definitely find a room.
mm,
I can't even picture right now whether or not they had a desk in that office because I feel like their desks was possibly in a separate room. It might be the same room. I don't know. Or they could have even moved offices.
Hmm.
So I just remember that it was kind of a L shape. Necessarily, I don't know. I just
Oh, by
know,
by
yeah.
the way, if you want to take a semi spoiler, I mean, it probably means we're not going back to that dojo. Um,
Mm-hmm.
if you know, a piece of the wall is now in LA. Uh,
Or, I mean, have we talked about what we heard about the Miyagi-Do?
um, no, I don't think so. Which one are
Well,
you referring to?
it just that it was torn down.
Oh, yeah, I don't know if we talked about that on air, have we?
Yeah, so
But
I
yeah,
don't remember, but well, I guess what I'm getting at is
they can
they can
put it
always
back up.
rebuild it.
Yeah, yeah,
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So they've got the original piece. So,
Mm,
it's kind of like when a stadium gets torn down, people want like that
mm,
original seat or something from the stands or what have you. So they got the original wall. They can always rebuild it.
yeah.
That's something that we could definitely talk in a later episode after our season 5 reviews.
Hmm.
Will like I think that's a big question. Will Johnny re you know reopen, regain Cobra Kai? Does he move on from Cobra Kai? Like, I get it, the show is called that, but is that what he wants to go back to after everything that has happened on the show?
Yeah. And like, I know there's people out there with theories in regards to, that specific dojo too.
Mhm.
Like, I mean, Cobra Kai at another location, but like, that's that place that he opened there in Reseda.
Right, right. I mean, we need to see Homeless Lynn one more time, right? So I think
Yeah.
that'd be,
Yeah.
the chance. Okay,
All right. Moving on. It's Sabrina Obscura, who I believe is Amy, right?
that's correct.
um, Do you guys think you'll be shooting anything significant on location, not in Georgia, in this final season? Maybe a trip to the real golf and stuff, or a visit back to the South Seas? Also, was there ever talk of moving the show to ABQ?
Which is Albuquerque for those that were wondering.
Hmm.
Um, I wonder, is it just because maybe Obliterated is filmed over there?
Well,
In
that's I think
Oh no,
where
that's
like Netflix.
Vegas. Yeah,
Like Netflix has a lot of. Is it that they're moving a lot of
production.
productions to out there?
Oh,
Um,
could be. Yeah, I'm not
Yeah,
exactly sure.
and then they went to Vegas. I mean, for Obliterated, for some location shooting. But I think
And
their production was located there.
right, because I know John was asking about like Los Pueblos Hermanos, which is
Hmm.
also from Breaking Bad in
Right.
Albuquerque, or at
Hmm.
the very least, New Mexico. He replies, "We typically film at least something outside of Georgia each season. Would expect season 6 to be similar. Are we thinking Okinawa again?"
I'm thinking Okinawa. Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
they may have like a day in LA too. They've done that,
for sure.
so they could always go back to the South Seas apartment or any other sort of classic location, I guess.
Right, right. Yeah.
All right. Patrick R. Murphy. When are the Cobra Kai trading cards coming out? Stranger Things has them, so do other shows. The trading card market is really booming, and Cobra Kai trading cards would be amazing. Imagine all the possibilities.
It's pretty good. You got some spunk there.
I
John
like
replies,
to convey the enthusiasm of the questions.
the guy uses a lot of exclamation marks here. I was a huge card collector growing up and have been floored by some of the fan-made Cobra Kai cards I've seen. Completely agree with you that it's time for an official trading card set. How about it? Sony Pictures Television and Netflix. So yeah, I guess not. Let me see. Yeah, I guess we're still wondering. So he's asking Sony and Netflix
He's
if we'll
kicking
actually
it.
get him.
Yeah, he's kicking it back to whoever would want to license it, I guess.
Yeah, the powers that be, perhaps.
Maybe, well, the Cobra Kai dash Cobra Kai companion trading card set, you can get the license and we'll start printing them up.
Then now, companion with a C or a K, because we had that companion book with a C.
Oh, geez. Did, Oh, God, I didn't read that, by the way. Let's just go off
Oh,
topic. Did it? I
yeah, yeah.
haven't heard. I didn't read any reviews. Like I haven't seen anyone like tweet, "Oh, this was so amazing." Like
Um,
I
I
don't know.
mean, I don't know if there was anything like that, but I feel like the few that I've seen, people were pretty happy with it, for what they spent, so I
Well,
think it's kind of worth your money for Cobra Kai fans, and you want to keep it for
okay.
your collection.
For your collection, yeah, just
Yeah.
like the oh, that's the tagline to the trading cards. Keep for
There
your
you go. I
collection.
like that. Slowly, we're doing the work for you. Come on.
Yeah. All right. Andrew Patterson. Many fans were surprised at how short the Mexico storyline was. Did you originally plan on doing more with it, or was it always intended to be a 2 episode deal?
Hmm. That's a good question. John replies, the plan was always 2 episodes. We have a ton of characters and had a lot of ground we wanted to cover in season 5. 2 episodes felt right to us, given the Miguel, Hector, Johnny, Robbie, Mexico stories that we wanted to tell. That's a lot of names for 2 episodes too, though. But
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
we can.
yeah,
I mean, 2 episodes for with 10 episodes. If you think about it that way, you're right. That's kind of enough. If we're talking about 13, 14 episodes, oh yeah, maybe we could have gotten another one and a half or something.
yeah. As we covered in our recaps, if you've been listening along,
Yeah.
for more see recaps, 1 and 2, and even go ahead and catch recaps episodes 1 through 4, where I talk about different ways it could have expanded out. But yeah,
That's
as it is, he does seem like, yeah, it wasn't like budget or anything, according to him. It's just like, that's the Mexico storyline we wanted. Um, I don't know. I feel like it leaves a little bit, hanging, I guess, unresolved in a way with Miguel and his dad. Um, but we'll
yeah,
see what they
yeah.
have in mind.
Right. Hector versus White Lightning, in season 6.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, just step back that we have a lot of ground to cover in season 5. Like Miguel came back and then read text messages or something. That was episode 3. So
That's right. Yep.
anyway, okay, moving on. Um, Jackie talks nerdy. Hashtag Miyagi Fang 4. Will we find out the name of Johnny and Daniel's combined dojo in season 6?
John replies, if they are going to compete in the Sekai Tekai, Johnny and Daniel better settle on a name. If they're going to compete.
That's yeah, but that's like his Hurwitz classic non-committal answer. Obviously they're gonna have to have a name, so obviously I think we'll find it out. It was being set up in episode or in season 5 here.
Yeah, I do wonder if people saw that and be like, oh, I wonder if they won't compete. Like, well, if they don't compete, then you guys seriously wasted a few episodes in season 5 by giving us like the evaluation process,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So,
I think he enjoys when people do take that,
for
the
sure.
conditional essentially, and maybe this
Well,
will
yeah.
all go in a different way or something. But yeah. All right. Moving on to Derek at El Burrow for Moo. Um, Moo. Are we at a point where we can talk about the Karate Kid prequel series, the one that follows young Miyagi and Sato?
It's like you're saying moo like a cow, but like you're talking as if you're a ghost or
Like a
something.
ghost. It was a deceased cow
A
who
moo.
has some unresolved issues with the farmer.
John replied, people can talk about whatever they like to talk about. Is a young Miyagi series something that fans would like to see? And that one got a lot of love, just kind of comparing,
Right.
Twitter does this thing,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, with like how many eyes have been on it. Everything
Mm-hmm.
is pretty much under like 10,000, with the exception of like the Strike for Strike, the
Yeah.
Strike for Strike Hard No Mercy wall.
But you
That
look at
one,
40
yeah,
retweets on this one
yeah,
and a
yeah,
lot more likes too. Yeah.
yeah. 54,000 impressions on that one.
Hmm.
Everything else, pretty much under 10. So I think a lot of people would very much like the idea of a Young Miyagi series.
Yeah, and I had tweeted, I think I quote tweeted this one with a link to when you were on my channel, and we basically went through basic ideas or ground that a Young Miyagi series could cover.
Yeah, and I
Mhm,
said that I'll do that after our season 5 reviews, and I'm gonna put the audio version. Yeah, you gave me permission, like I don't know, last year or something like that, and I just haven't gotten around to it. But I think as soon as we finish up the next two episodes,
mhm,
release that, or if something picks up, because I want that out there as a like, hey. We also talked about some ideas and whatnot just before
mhm.
like everyone else starts like making things based off of this tweet or any news that might pop up or something. I don't know,
Yeah.
just in case, because like we talked about it, but do people actually check out that episode?
Hmm.
So available on YouTube right now if you guys want to check it out. If you have not seen that one yet,
Is
all right,
correct. All
yeah,
right,
yeah,
moving on to
yes.
Mega Cloud 47, who is Carrie. One of the great tragedies of 2021 was the death of Ed Asner. Had he survived, would there have been any plans for him storyline wise?
And replies, we cherished every moment we got to spend on set with Ed Asner. Would have absolutely loved to have more time with him. And if I could have seen it. I
Hmm.
could have seen it, maybe just as much as we saw Shannon, just a
Yeah.
few times just to, you know, bust Johnny's balls a little bit, maybe even make a comment that, oh, you finally, squashed that beef with your high school rival,
Hmm.
someone just to kind of be there.
Yeah. His, I think it's his son, Matt Asner, saw that and quote tweeted himself. And he wrote, he loved doing Cobra Kai and loved when people spoke with him about it. And many did. So just
Oh,
a
that's
little
amazing.
note, from his son who saw that.
Wow, yeah, I did
Hmm.
not. So that, yeah, that's amazing that he,
Hmm.
saw that and a lot of love,
Hmm.
from the fans, obviously, and he reciprocated that. So that I did not know.
Yeah. So let's see where we, Maria on the street. Well, I hope she doesn't get run over. That sounds dangerous.
Yeah, maybe she's chasing a soccer ball.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. When will we have news about Obliterated? I'm dying here for a teaser. Hashtag Obliterated.
He replies, here's some obliterated news. We've edited the entire first season and we're absolutely in love with it. The cast is perfection and there's nothing like this show on TV. Anyone who enjoys big action and R-rated comedy will go nuts for it. And I'm here for it just because it's something that they're a part of, you know, and something
Yeah,
original.
yeah. Something original. Like I think like there's well, I just think like all of Hollywood entertainment really just has this need for something more original. So many like remakes and Marvel and Star Wars, but so like something totally original. By a team that's really really talented. I mean, there's a lot of upside potential here, basically with Obliterated. So
Absolutely. Yeah. And on that note, like, he's saying that there's nothing else like it right now. So, when certain award seasons come, maybe there's not as much competition,
mhm,
i.e. the comedy field for Cobra Kai, with like Ted Lasso and whatnot.
mhm,
So funny thing, I think it was just yesterday in the morning. I'm at work, some of us are, kind of just casually talking about Cobra Kai because I'm, the quote unquote Cobra Kai guy at work.
you're almost like the Cobra Kai companion at work.
Almost,
Right? Yeah.
almost. Yeah, yeah. So it definitely comes up almost every day. And just like my last station, they was talk about it every day. I got, guys to get on it over here, but there's still some guys who have not yet checked it out and kind
Oh,
of do the thing.
jeez.
Oh, I'll, when I get to it,
Mm,
I definitely want to check it out, but I'm watching so many other shows. Like, like
mm,
we've heard it all before. We've
mm,
said that all before ourselves, talking about other
mm,
shows. And then one jackass like brought up, oh, hey, looks like Ted Lasso is coming back, the new season recently. And everyone almost in unison, oh yeah, I like that show. Oh, well, it's wholesome. And I was like, well, fuck you guys. It's like, yeah,
Where do
and
they
I had to
watch
kind of
this Apple TV thing or whatever? I don't know. I don't even think I have access
look.
to it. I don't.
It's a, everything I hear is, I haven't heard one person poo poo on the show. It clearly won awards, right? So
Yeah,
the
I'm
fact that
sure
it
it's good.
was,
I'm sure it's good. Yeah.
yeah, just because it's been in competition with Cobra Kai in the past, it's just like, well, this is how I feel about it. I kind of talked about like how, we were kind of just trash talking about it on Twitter around that time, around awards. And one guy's like, "Oh, you still haven't seen it?" I go, well, I'm not going to watch it until people watch Cobra Kai. That's basically what I said.
There you go. There.
I got a hard eye roll, but hey, again, Cobra Kai never dies and all of that. So yeah, I'll eventually watch it. Maybe sometime after, season 5 reviews. And then,
Mm-hmm.
when I'm doing other things, I won't feel as bad.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, that's
um,
a good plan, I think.
but yeah, I like the idea of it. Big action R-rated comedy. So,
Yes, which is well, they're special. By the way, that tweet was quote tweeted by Zach Robinson, kaboom, and he tagged
ooh.
Leo. Are we getting a hint at who's doing the music for that show?
Yeah, I would assume so. I mean,
Mhm.
it already sounds like some of the writers from Cobra Kai are also part of that as well. At the very least, Bob Dearden.
Joe and
Unofficially,
Luan
I was
too.
about to
I'm
say
pretty
Jordan
sure. Yeah,
LeBron. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I don't know if that was official, but I feel there was definitely some talk or some tweets involving them.
I saw it somewhere. It was official enough for me anyway. um,
Okay. I mean, yeah,
yeah,
official for
yeah,
us on Twitter.
yeah. Mhm. All right. So we're moving on to Melissa. Melissa,
Big, big
I'm not
supporter
actually,
of our show.
Melissa, I realize yeah, you're a big fan, and I realized I'm not sure I know how to pronounce your last name. Pascui,
Gucci, Pascucci. That's Pascucci.
Pasucci,
Pasucci. Okay, Pasucci or
I don't
Pascucci.
know. Yeah.
She'll
But
tell us.
anyway, what can you tease us about what's coming? Or what can you tease us about what's about to come for our teenage characters, Sam, Tori, Miguel, and Robbie in season 6?
In replies, you'll get to see all of them in season 6. Beyond that, don't want to spoil anything. Do they fight? Can can he tell us that?
Normally, he spoils that, and he held off on that one, so
So maybe
they
no
all
karate
become
from them.
pacifists. Um,
That's it. That's it.
I predicted a
And
long time ago, Moon opens a yoga studio, and everyone forgets karate. Um, so yeah, maybe they all join Moon in pacifism.
all their Sakai Takai demonstrations are just katas.
Yes, yes,
That's
just
it. No,
kata, just
no
kata.
contact. Yeah.
Okay, moving on. John Lee Brody at John Lee Brody. Ah, see, it's very consistent for him.
Very simple and consistent. Yes.
Of course, we all. What did he say? Of course, we want to see that, but I'd love. What is he saying? Of course, we want to see that. Of
Maybe the
course
young
we want
Miyagi
it.
stuff.
Whatever. I'm just going to
Yeah.
try to read it right. Of course
Yeah.
we want to see that. But what I'd also love to see is a spinoff focusing on the All Valley Board in the form of a workplace comedy. Maybe we find out why Daryl is so obsessed with blue mats, or where Ron got his gavel. In each season, George gets divorced. It writes itself, I tell ya.
John replies, I would absolutely watch and make 100 episodes of a workplace comedy called All Valley revolving around the All Valley board. There are layers of drama we haven't yet explored with that group, and I'll pitch it now. How about we start off with the prequel episode just to kind of introduce the characters with the Malcolm Jamal Warner debacle.
See, I feel like that's a whole season. That's not the
Hmm.
prequel episode.
Okay,
You're
okay.
building up to the Malcolm Jamal Warner.
Or maybe we just kind of like start with the end of that debacle.
Mm.
And work backwards, huh? To lead up to it. And
Oh,
that's
yeah,
your first
yeah,
season. That's your
yeah.
first
There you
season.
go. There you go.
That's 10 episodes right there. He's got 90
Mm.
more to go.
Okay. Brandon at Daddy Deft. What was your reaction when they told you it was the last season?
And replies, Netflix didn't tell us it was the last season. We told them it was the last season. We've always wanted to end Cobra Kai on our own terms, and we are grateful we have the opportunity to do so. But that doesn't mean we're finished with the Miyagi verse. We love this world. Hashtag Cobra Kai. There's a lot there.
Yeah. So, I mean, according to John here, then it was their decision to wrap things up here after 6 seasons. I never knew if it was like a back and forth between them and Netflix, but we'll just take him for what he says. It was so their term, 6 seasons, which goes back to the number they've always said when they gave a number. They always said at least 6 seasons. So,
Right, at least six or outlines for 6 seasons,
mhm,
and I mean, I don't feel I tried going back to look for those. I've tried different variations of spelling, 6 seasons or outlines, just looking
mhm.
for keywords. And these tweets no longer exist, or
Couldn't find
I
them.
couldn't find them using the combination of words that I
Hmm.
was searching for. So, so what I'm saying is, like, John has told us before that they have never lied. At the very least, whatever
Hmm.
they have told us in the past is what they knew at the time.
Hmm.
And this is mainly in regards to like the big move to Netflix and the lull of 1.5 years of
Hmm.
not really hearing anything official, at least.
Hmm.
And so I don't think at some point John's going to decide, I'm just going to start lying to everybody. I think he's going to continue telling us what he knows at the time, kind of thing. And if you guys heard or read the letter that TB3 put out, they pretty much said the same thing. They're not being canceled. This is, yeah, this is their narrative, and this is the end game for them. Like they've been working up to this moment.
Hmm.
So, and the other thing is you see, but that doesn't mean we're finished with the Miyagi-verse. So he wanted to interject at a point here, but that doesn't mean we're finished with the Miyagi-verse. We love this world.
Yeah.
So they love it so much that it sounds like they want to explore more of it.
Yes, and I think they said that in their letter too, in some fashion. I mean, it's about as direct about of a spinoff as you can get. Um, you know,
Right. Which is something they have even teased in the past, like
Mhm. Right,
possible spin-offs and stuff,
hmm,
especially with the move to Netflix. That was kind of
right.
it's a bullet point they wanted to kind of throw out there to
Hmm.
the fans, you
Hmm.
know.
Okay, moving on to Matthew Pembroke. Is Karate's bad boy tricking everyone into thinking he is a good guy?
Were you twirling your mustache too?
Well,
um,
so this person, I don't know about Matthew, but he's very worried about who's the good guy and who's the bad guy. It's like it's part of him.
right. John replied with a quote: "There is no good, there is no bad, only weak or strong." By John Kreese.
Hmm. My own answer is
And yeah,
probably no. I think I think what you see is what you get for Mike Barnes there. But
Barnes. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, I think so. Not too much to add to that, really.
yeah. I know there's at least a chunk of fans out there who are convinced like Barnes is actually bad and something like, and convinced of that. And John, he doesn't answer. He just sort of like leaves it open for you to interpret what you want.
Right. And I feel like that's how the show is too. Some things aren't, set in stone in terms of
Yeah.
answers. It's kind of like left to your interpretation.
Okay, Strike First Media, Cody. What characters from Cobra Kai do you Hayden and Josh identify the most with?
And replies, there are parts of me in almost every character, but I probably identify most with Daniel, Johnny, Miguel, Dimitri, Devin, and Soup Customer. Hashtag Cobra Kai, hashtag Netflix. Um, he just wants his food, keep the
I think
drama at home.
that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Keep the drama for your mama. Just give me my
Johnny,
soup,
it
mama.
was Johnny when he's getting the pizza in episode 1, Soup
Uh-huh.
Customer. Uh,
Right. Daniel eating lobster, with the
Oh,
skeezy
right, right,
landlord
yeah.
of sorts. Dimitri with maybe we'll come back to that. Unless you
Well,
can think of
Miguel and
something.
Dimitri in season one when they're in a cafeteria, Dimitri he had trouble
Applebee's
eating. Yeah, Dimitri when he had the broken
or
arm and
Yelp.
Kyler took his lunch and threw it away.
There
Boy,
you go.
like yeah,
Devin, let me see, she rip a book in half. Well, debate team. We'll just go with
debate
that.
team. Yeah. Mhm.
Oh, was he aggressive? An aggressive debater? I want to see clips. Do you think they have clips? I mean, there's definitely no TikTok back then nor Instagram.
Yeah, I know it's
So
sad.
I feel John has like a 8 millimeter debates or something, you know. Okay.
All right, moving on. Matthew Cox. Would it be fair to say that Kreese would be free at the start of season 6, considering that he was wrongfully incarcerated and any offense in breaking out of the jail would be time already served for the length of the time he was in jail?
Just, I haven't read the answer yet, but the fact that he even replied to this is interesting. So let's see what he says. Kreese certainly has a complicated legal situation as we enter season 6. I don't think it's safe to assume anything. Yeah, and I guess that's why I was surprised that he even answered because, the fact that this guy words it, would it be fair to say? And no, like it wouldn't because we don't know. They're never really going to
Yeah.
give us an answer.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind
And
of
the
like
whole,
the question is going at length, like, you know, talking about all this stuff. But yeah, we just don't know. So, and John gives his John Hurwitz or non-committal answer. It's a complicated legal situation.
right. Yeah, very, very, very complicated. So complicated, you better call Saul, you know?
But yeah. Um, so he says he's done, but I think he did. Okay, yeah, a few more minutes.
Okay, there we go.
Let's see. Okay, Melissa, again. What scene would you say is the absolute best, most emotional scene that you would say tops all the scenes that you have done in Cobra Kai, seasons 1 through 5 only?
He replies, I have so many favorite emotional scenes. Here's a few. Johnny listening to Miguel's voicemail while looking through the window at Miguel in the hospital. Tommy dying. I love you too, Robbie. And Daniel visiting Miyagi's grave. I'm assuming in the first season.
Yeah, I
Um,
think take that as first season.
yeah, season 4 is a little bit different. A different type of emotional scene. For
Mhm.
me, it was a big old eggplant emoji. Maybe other people too. So, yeah, all very good. And, Tommy dying, the whole like, oh, hell no, they actually freaking did it, along with, oh shit, that's a body bag. you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
all
Hmm.
types of mixed emotions for me
Hmm.
there. And to see the OG Cobras all crying for their friend. So yeah, that was tough. Miyagi's grave, that's tough anytime.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, the voicemail,
The
that's
voicemail.
the voicemail. I mean, that whole sequence thereafter, right? Him on the beach and, Kari Kimmel's version of a cruel summer.
Cruel Summer.
Yeah, I love that finale, just because
Yeah,
it's one
it
of those
was.
hurt so good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. Rick from Chopsticks and Fly. After I watched Blockers for the first time, I asked, how do you cast an ass? You said we'd be surprised how many people volunteer to show theirs. Years have passed, and now Chosen's butt appears in Cobra Kai. How did you cast Chosen's rump? Was there competition for the role? I just want to say I like how you used a different word each time to refer to the posterior.
That's pretty good, and you did that as well. So I quote tweeted this and said, "There's been a crack in the case."
Yes.
Um, yeah. John replies, "First dibs went to Chosen's stunt double in this situation, and he stepped up. You later saw the rest of him as a member of the Fist, minus his eye that was covered by an eye patch. So there you go. The guy who looks like a Dragon Ball Z character with the really spiky hair, long spikes. Yeah. So." I thought it was a different guy that was a stunt double, but so that's him, and I don't think anyone's actually put that out there yet. That's hey, this is Chosen's butt double here
Yes,
because
it is. It is. It is an ass reveal.
it is, yeah. I did wonder. So
Yeah. From David R. Did you read Ralph's book?
he replies, yes, and I loved it. If anyone wants to know what it feels like to hang out with Ralph Macchio, read the book and you'll get a pretty good idea. 100% his voice. And I'll add to this. If you have Audible, that's also 100% his voice. Because Ralph Macchio reads it himself. So I would suggest that if you don't have the time to read, if you have the time to listen, I'd say get the Audible version of it. I own the book, and I have not read it in its entirety, but I've listened to the audiobook 3 times. And we also talked about the his book tour in Seattle, along with hanging out with Yuji Okamoto. For those that want to check out that episode, a couple companion friends and supporters were all part of that little recap of the evening as well.
Mhm.
Watch Party, have you checked out the book yet?
I did uh, peruse it a little bit. I did not read it. No.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, there was definitely some moments that were pretty emotional. So
Mhm.
I definitely highly recommend it. And just to kind of give a shout out to Mikey G, Mikey G. I'll just leave it at that. He had, I believe it was on Twitter, he had mentioned that he's checked out many memoirs, and this is by far like the best one. And I'm paraphrasing. He says a lot of them aren't as good as he had hoped. So a lot of great stories, including he even tried auditioning for Back to the Future. So that was a fun one.
Oh, there
Yeah,
you
I
go.
feel that was kind of like, rumor, but he talks about it, so it happened.
There you go.
All right.
All right. Dynamic voltage games. Which dojos would AC Slater and Zach Morris join?
John Hurwitz replies, AC Slater would be Cobra Kai. Zach Morris is more Eagle Fang. Hmm. That's interesting. I wonder if he's seen the reboot, which I have not.
Probably not. I don't know.
Yeah.
I saw an episode or two. Um,
So as I understand it, Slater is now a teacher at the school,
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
and Zach Morris is like the mayor,
He was like
governor,
governor. Yeah.
governor.
He wasn't
Okay.
in it much. Like it was like, or at least just like the little bit I saw. Um,
See, so based
yeah.
off of just that little nugget, I would almost debate that AC Slater would actually be more Eagle Fang and Zach Morris Cobra Kai.
Well,
Zach
these are
Morris
probably original AC and Zach. So,
when they're younger. Okay,
mhm.
Preppy and the jock.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, I'll go with that. All right, next one, Bella.
Yes. My usual yearly question. Will we get more of the wonderful Hannah Keppel slash Moon in the last season?
He replies, the show can always use more Moon. Hannah Keppel has a very bright future ahead of her, extremely talented, and a pleasure to work with.
I was just thinking how Chosen gave us Moon the camera.
We got half a moon, a
Yeah,
crescent moon,
half
perhaps.
Moon.
Yeah, so we could use more moon, absolutely. No, I was more laughing at the idea of him not actually answering that at all. Yeah, we could sure use more moon. I agree.
Yes,
So
she was a character in the show. Yes.
absolutely,
Okay, moving on to Ka. That's Ka with a C. At
yes.
Cobra's Kai. I've always been curious about it. How do you guys do to choose the references from the Karate Kid films to put on the show?
I'm assuming this person is from. I feel like I've seen this name before. Oh, I thought it was one of the Brazilian Portuguese. Yeah, yeah. There we go. See, I believe they're Portuguese speaking account.
Ah.
So
Hmm.
yeah, he's one of the fan accounts. I kind of recognize the name. I obviously I don't interact with them because I don't speak Portuguese, but to kind of explain some of the spelling here, some of the words. John replies, "We only use references to the Karate Kid movies if they are organic to the present day story we're telling. Never like for those moments to feel forced."
And I think over 5 seasons, that's very true. Everything just feels so natural, right? Um,
Yeah,
just fits in.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I have some. I've never created a list, but I could think of some examples, which I will not do at this moment, where I'm like, didn't need that as well. It's kind of like we had something that was kind of like reminiscent of like the Karate Kid films, but then there was just like one more added thing. Like, well, I'm not sure we needed that as well because now it's just like it's
Mhm.
almost like the whole joke, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Yeah, I just want to give any examples in the event I do like a extra,
Have it
list
make a
of
list.
like yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, like top five Karate Kid references or something, just in
Right.
case.
But yeah, I think like the way they do it is that, they're creating the story, like they're there in the writer's room and they're creating the story. And as they're kind of doing it, then they think, oh, wait, remember that such and such from the movie? Like we could put a reference to that here. But they aren't starting the other way around where they take something from the movie and say, let's cram this in, you know?
Right. Or
Yeah.
let's figure out how we can add this in here
Right.
forced, where
Right.
being
Yeah.
forced. Yeah.
Okay. Moving on to Josh Klein. John, after the Ferris spinoff, what are the chances we get a Goonies series?
And John replies, "We've always wanted to do a Goonies continuation. If Warner Brothers wants one, we're ready to rock." Interesting. Hashtag Goonies. I don't know if I knew they were big fans like that.
I feel like they've mentioned it somewhere.
Looks like it's
Um,
come up, but I didn't know that this would be a property they would love to continue.
um, yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I'm not even sure I ever saw Goonies, so it's not anything I'm connected to. Like emotionally, it's not like, oh, like for me. Um,
Yeah. Coincidentally, this morning, as a matter of fact, I worked my coworker who works next to me in the morning. She brought me a newspaper clipping of the new owners of the Goonies home. That's where Mikey and his brother Brad lives. That would be your Sean Astin and Josh Brolin.
mm,
So that house, this couple purchased, at the very least, the husband's a big fan, and because I didn't realize how much attention this story was kind of getting, but the first time I had heard about this new owner is because he had like a flag, kind of like I don't remember if it's Goonies Never Say Die or um, or Welcome Goonies or something, but it was like, in support of the film. And the
mm,
next door neighbor had a flag on their patio or whatever, basically saying like Goonies not welcomed, because they're kind of tired of all like over the years, just, fans and
tourism.
whatever coming. Yeah, tourism. And, the big anniversaries, they usually have like a big thing in Astoria, Oregon. Where they will have like a tour, that you couldn't
Mm,
take and all these, just a celebration of the Goonies,
mhm.
and, and then the guy who moved in, apparently his friend lives also nearby and has a flag that says "Don't listen to Karen" or something like that. Like, I'm kind of paraphrasing, but there's an image of it online you guys can find, pretty hilarious. But the newspaper clipping was actually just a series of questions that this publication reached out to the homeowners, and it has a photo of them in front of the house, and
Mhm.
in it, I actually tweeted it out today, basically him saying that he was asked like what would he like in a sequel or whatever. of Goonies, and
Mm-hmm.
he said he would like it in the vein of like Cobra Kai and the Karate Kid, like a continuation with, the cast now kind of thing. So I was like, hey, this
Right.
guy's got good taste in movies.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. Yeah, you're gonna have to check out the Goonies. I'd be interested to hear what you think, for
Uh,
having not grown up with it, because
yeah.
I feel I've heard the opinion for those that like didn't grow up with it, that they're like, I didn't see anything special, but it's just like, it's a fun adventure movie. It's kind of like National Treasure. And, you're going around looking for clues, and there's a bunch of kids. Data is played by Ki Hui Kwan, who was Short Round in the Temple of Doom, and he's been getting a lot of attention for his role in gosh, I'm gonna struggle with the title. It's like Everything Everywhere All at
Oh,
Once, right?
yes, that is a show. Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Everything,
yeah,
everywhere,
yeah,
all at once. Yeah.
right. So been getting a lot of love for that, and that's the one where at his, gosh, was it the Golden Globes? Was it? Where he was awarded for best supporting actor, and he kind of gives Spielberg a shout out for putting him in that film, as a
Hmm.
young Asian kid. So,
Hmm.
but anyway, yeah, he that'd be cool to have him in that role as well, or reprising that role. And there's Corey Feldman that was also in that movie, and blanking on the name, the guy who plays Chunk. Yeah, but he's a lawyer
Hmm.
now,
Hmm.
so he's removed from acting. So it'd be interesting to kind of see them all back together rather than just posing for a picture, like the movie poster as kids. So,
Hmm.
all right.
I think maybe one more. I think, Anthony, what has been the most rewarding thing about being involved with Cobra Kai?
Okay, why you sound like a pirate? I,
Arr.
I'm, I'm trying to I'm looking for clues or something here. He replies, when I hear stories about how the show has positively impacted people's lives in real ways, I didn't expect so much of this when we first started out. And yeah, I continue to see it almost every single
Hmm.
day where
Hmm.
somebody credits Cobra Kai for something positive in their life, whether it's going back to martial arts, something at
Hmm.
home, something at school, something at work. It's definitely brought people together. Um, good, mostly good, hopefully. But yeah,
Yeah, I mean, with
it's
this community, right? So.
absolutely,
Hmm.
absolutely. The most people around the world discovered this show at the in 2020. At the start of the pandemic, right? Everyone's at
Right.
home. Stay home, save
Hmm.
lives. Found Cobra Kai, and that probably made their lives that much happier. To watch a lot of peak Johnny moments,
Hmm.
and just have like three. The third season coming soon kind of
Hmm.
thing. And yeah, just exposed to these characters from a beloved movie that they probably didn't really grow up watching a whole lot of. And it's like, hey, this is actually pretty good. Like one of the things I remember people always saying, like, this had no right to be this good. So, and I mean, when's the last time I actually said that this show was criminally underseen?
Hmm.
Now it's yeah, I don't want to say overseen, but I still think not enough people are watching it, clearly. But we've come a long way for sure.
Yeah, there's room for more.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
there's a couple more going up. Yeah.
Okay.
So let's see. Mia, did you guys already have an overall idea of how Cobra Kai ends when you first started? Or did it come to mind as you continued writing the seasons?
You're starting to make me think of like the movie Identity. You just have like all the different
Since they're
personas.
finally coming out.
Yeah. He replies, we've had several key ideas in mind from the very beginning, but plenty of new thoughts have emerged over time. That's interesting.
And one more, I don't know how, Fatima Rodriguez,
Yeah,
I
I would say
guess.
that, or Fatima or Fatima.
Fatima, yeah, that's Rodriguez. Uh, when is the premiere of new series hashtag obliterated on at Netflix? Will it be this year, 2023? Hashtag obliterated, hashtag Netflix.
He replies, Obliterated will premiere in 2023. Still waiting the exact release date. So kind of like we were just waiting for the announcement of season 6 of Cobra Kai. Now they're just
Mhm.
waiting for the release date for Obliterated. So he is
But
confirming at the very least this year,
this year,
which
yeah.
which is good because they're done editing and it's still only March. So I hope this year, yes.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I thought. Like I was thinking, obliterated this year. Um, it feels like it would be a summer show. Like it feels like a summer movie, right? But as a Netflix show, so you would think summer. I don't know if it'll be done for summer unless like July. I guess that's still theoretically possible. Um, but it may be more like fall or something.
Right, right. Um, I'm just kind of scrolling through. Looks like was somebody being a little aggressive with him not answering a
Oh,
spoiler. Wow.
well.
Anyway, let's see if this one is kind of worth going over. Looks
Always
like it might
remember
be.
that. I was just yeah. Always remember that John gives very non-committal answers. So,
Right, right.
um,
I believe that might have been the last one. Yep. So this is the last one
this
here.
will be the last one. Okay,
Yep.
from Timo Lol. Um, at back in Tim, or like back in time underscore.
Yeah.
So whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. You've got quite a few Julie Pierce questions over the years, but any chance we see Michael Ironsides as Corporal Dugan? He has no connection to Johnny Daniel, but it's plausible he may have crossed paths with Crease and Silver.
I am just before. Oh, well, let me go ahead and read it. You mean Tori's father, Corporal Dugan? So this guy wants a spinoff of the Vietnam Corporal Dugan, right?
Right? Yeah.
So, I don't know if we know um,
Or
Colonel
did he meet?
Dugan was
Yeah, I don't
actually in
know.
the army. We
No,
we don't know that for sure, but
mhm.
let's just say he was. A corporal would be an E4, so that is equivalent to a specialist. Um, and I feel that is much lower ranking than Twig and Crease, but we would also have to we need more details. They can make it work,
Mhm.
you know. I'm just kind of humoring the question here to see. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
yeah, it's plausible, but we need more information,
Mhm.
rather than just kind of like we're just gonna make it fit. So
But
would
even
you
for
rather? Yeah.
season 6, like, will Dugan be back? Well, we get Michael Ironsides, so because he specifically said Michael
Okay.
Irons. So
Okay. Yeah, you're right.
yeah.
He doesn't say it on here, but yeah, I guess you're right. You can. Um, I was just thinking like more of if it's possible in a spinoff or something like that. But okay, I get it. Would you rather see Julie Pierce or Corporal Dugan?
Uh, um, I think. Well, I would just say both. I think there are ways to work him in. I don't know how it'll be. Um, like I could just say like yes, I can imagine plausible ways he could be worked in. That's all I could say is but so I think that would be kind of cool. Have a little bit more from the last movie, but I don't know what they'll have to do. I don't know.
Right, right. And there's a few more questions, but we won't go over them because they weren't really answered. But that's pretty much it. So
Mhm.
not a whole lot more, but maybe some clarifications and uh very little confirmation. If anything, it was more about obliterated in terms of confirmation. So
Yes, 2023 finished editing, so
yeah, and anything else to kind of recap with the season 6 stuff? There,
2
um,
weeks into the writer's room, so we know
right,
that. Yeah.
new
Um
writer.
New writer. Mhm.
Um, Johnny and Daniel need to come up with a name quick if they're going to participate in the Sekai Takai.
Yes, yes.
And that would be kind of a fun episode, possible names, but anything we come up with like if you remember some of the names that he threw out as possible names before Eagle Fang too, I was just like, there was one in particular. I was like, well, that's not as sexy. I mean, clearly that's why they didn't go with it, but it was kind of like, man, people were just really, I wonder if, I want to see like the long list, of names that they
Mhm.
came up with. So,
Yeah.
all right. Well, that's gonna do it. These are always unplanned and always at a moment's nose, nose, noticed. So if you turn on notifications, you'll get notified anytime he tweets, and maybe you'll be able to participate in some of these as well. So I guess the next episode will be an episode review, episode 9 Survivors. We have not yet decided when we might be available to record that. So once we do, we'll get that out, and then after that, one more episode, and then into some fun stuff. And again, we got or I have School Spirits on the horizon here. More than likely going to be doing solo style and not your traditional companion breakdown, especially since it's going to be myself. Probably just going to watch it, jot a few notes, and try to kind of just do it off of memory, like on my thoughts per episode. So we'll see. I haven't really committed to a particular style, but I've done that before with other shows as well, kind of the solo style and not quite fully in depth. And those usually run me about 20 minutes when I'm just talking to my lonesome. So, if you guys are interested in that, just subscribe to the podcast. I don't think I'm going to, create a separate channel on YouTube for it or anything like that. And I think the only writing I'm going to do, soon here will just kind of be a non-spoiler on my thoughts based on the pilot episode. So, Watch Party, where can people find you? And, if you want to tease anything that you might be working on.
Um, I am on YouTube, the YouTube channel Watch Party. Also on Twitter and Instagram, both at Watch Party One. That's the number one. Um, I'm thinking as far as Cobra Kai, I'm trying to decide what I want to do. I dropped a Last of Us video, uh, uh, well, last night, at least from today, from when we were recording, um, but nothing specific I'm going to tease right now because I got to figure out what I want to do next. So,
So I haven't started that show yet, and I do want to watch it. A friend of mine, who he's the guy that goes with me to go when we go visit Eugene in Seattle.
mhm,
He wants to hear my thoughts on it because he knows I never played the games,
mhm.
which is kind of interesting. But I was like, sure, it sounds like a show I might get into, and I love me some Prince Oberyn, or is it Auburn? Oberyn or Auburn?
Oberyn.
Oberyn, thank you.
Yeah.
And so, I know my sister-in-law and her husband, they watch it in this household. And,
Mhm.
I know one day she just kept on going on and on how she loves, Pedro Pascal. And I'm like, you realize he was in Game of Thrones as well, right? And you guys watched that. And she doesn't remember him. I'm like, but he was like one of the best characters ever on that
Yeah,
show.
he was so iconic in
He
that.
was like my
And
favorite. He was my
and
favorite character.
and Bella Ramsey was too in a different way, but yeah, it's
Sure.
like a
Yeah, and I remember, his death was actually that one hurt, because they all
it
hurt.
did.
But
Yeah,
yeah, but I
yeah.
was just like, oh man, and the way he went too, holy cow.
Yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
no, yeah, I was trying to think of a joke, but you talk about like eye gouging. Or how do you work that in? Like, we could do butt jokes all day, but eye gouging, I don't know.
I don't know. It's a bit of a stretch
Yeah, a little bit, but
or a push, I
yeah.
guess. It's a push
Oh,
through.
yeah, a push or, I can't see into the future, but maybe
It's
maybe we'll
kind
see
of an
a return of the film.
eye-popping pun you have there.
Yeah, just a little bit. The vision's a little unclear for me. For me, you guys can find me on Twitter at Cobra Kai Pod and on Instagram at Cobra Kai Companion spelled with a K. And that's gonna do it. And until the next episode, we will see you guys later.
Bye.
This is part of the Companion Network.